Backdrop of New York City is pretty sweet, man. I'm curious for you. Is this your first time here? And what has it been like as a Heisman finalist in 2024?
It actually is my second time, but the first time was not like this one. So definitely getting a nice little tour of it, and we're in the big city, the Big Apple, so we're enjoying it.
You referenced that when you were a child, you and your dad, who was a college quarterback, a pretty talented one, had a list of goals. Was coming to New York City for the Heisman one of them? And if so, how old were you when you decided to build that list?
It wasn't a goal, but I would say I think we knew building out that goal list that if you have success with your goals, then you'll be right where you need to be. And always strive for team goals. And as a quarterback, at a young age, you know that winning is more important than any stat. So that led to this, but also picking the right people around you. And I think I've chosen great people every single time and every stop I've been. So I'm blessed.
When was the first time you watched the Heisman and said, yeah, this is going to be something that I want to aspire to visit, be a part of, and potentially even win?
Yeah, I think the easy answer would say Marcus, but I've been watching, with Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton, RG3, guys that even Tim Tebow, you watch, all those events, and I think you aspire to be just like them. And I say that because they won the Heisman, but they also had a bunch of team success and were winning on the biggest stages. So that's the fun part. Those are things you can take with you. But this event, the history behind it, the players that have been involved in this are special. So I'm grateful to be a part of it.
I was here the night that Marcus won it, and his speech to this day gives me chills thinking about it. You were back in Hawaii at Mililani when you watched that speech. When you think about that now and you're here, how does that land on you? And have you been able to talk to Marcus throughout this week at all?
Yeah, it hasn't fully hit yet, but I think when I'm in that moment sitting in those chairs, that'll definitely be a moment to appreciate. But it's crazy. 10 years later, I'm sitting right here, rocking the number 8, doing my thing at Oregon. I definitely wouldn't have drawn it up this way, but I'm so grateful because this is how special it is. It's not by coincidence, I will say that.
Has he offered any words of wisdom in advance of this weekend?
He has, but he's also been just very hands off in terms of letting it be my moment, and I think you appreciate that. He just always knows the best way to handle things, and you laugh because it's like this guy is the man who he is, and he's everyone says good things about him because he's just true to his word, always supportive any way he can help, but also doesn't bother too much. So if anything, I got to reach out and say, hey man, I need this. But no, he's the best.
It feels like that is part of the spirit of Hawaii, right? And you hear the word ohana a lot around your community where you grew up and around the family that is not only your immediate family who's here today, but also the family all over those islands. What message do you have to all those people that'll be watching the Heisman Trophy ceremony and, of course, rooting for one of their own in you?
Yeah, just motivation and inspiration. That's what it served for me watching Marcus, and I want to do the same, being a great role model and an example of how to do it the right way, and represent not only my teammates, coaches, this university, but I also understand that I'm representing Hawaii, and I'm extremely thoughtful of how I move because of that, and I want to do it the right way because I've had a great experience, and being born and raised is something special to me.
Speaking of great experiences, a year ago, almost to the day, you committed to become a Duck.
No.
You smile as I reference. What flashes in your mind as you think about how your life changed almost exactly a year ago?
Yeah, just how different it was a year ago, and the unsure, mentality of not knowing what's to come, and just wanting to have this plan and this vision. And I think you look now as how special of a year we've had, and what we're gonna do here coming up soon. It's the power of people, and I'm grateful to be a part of it because the work we put in January all the way up until fall camp, and the grinding of learning a new offense, being in a new atmosphere. I can hang my hat on that. I went all in, and I put all my energy into people and the right stuff, and it served me well. But more importantly, it served our team well.
Speaking of going all in, Dan Lanning, Will Stein, they pour into you just as you pour into them. They're going to fly in for this event tonight. You guys have been doing the awards circuit. How have those two individuals impacted you off the field in advance of a playoff run that your team's about to embark upon?
Yeah, they've pushed me, and I think a new and fresh mind or opinion can help an athlete, and more importantly, a quarterback, because you have to be pushed. You have to try new concepts. You have to try new things. But they allowed me to flourish in learning and growth, and with that comes failure. But they allowed me to fail and learn a bunch within that spring ball, fall camp time, and we're reaping the benefits here in season. So I can't say anything but good things about them. They've pushed me and they've demanded a lot, but I also know that relationship, has been built from the ground up, and you appreciate, the steps along the way. And it's not because of success; it's because of, the process, and we appreciate, every single bit of it.
This Heisman fraternity is so unique. Uniquely, you played against somebody who's here,
Yep.
and even more uniquely, like Cam Ward played in Autzen. I mean, there's so many unique ties, and all of you have ties to the West Coast. What has it been like for you in this experience, getting to know guys with your helmets off?
It's super cool. I think connecting with one another. We've all gone through similar experiences within the game, but also, have competed against one another, which is an extremely cool part as well. But now that you get here, I think we all smile knowing that we've done special things to get to this point, but also knowing, we're not doing it alone. So a great way to connect and just talk about stuff.
Okay, speaking of not doing it alone, the Rose Bowl. It is the epicenter of college football. You've talked about this many times. Growing up watching that game, I'd imagine. How is your team back in Eugene preparing for a moment where you still don't even know who the opponent might be?
Yeah, we're lucky to have Coach Lanning, a guy who's done it. He's talked to the greats, Coach Saban. He's talked to a bunch of other coaches that have won at the highest level that know how to build for the playoffs or, the postseason. And we're going to prepare for both, put in 2 game plans and try and learn as much about the DNA of them. And then, we'll find out next week who we play. So it allows us to be dialed in right where our feet are. And I think you need to have that, and be present because it's win or go home.
I love that. Well, speaking of DNA, you easily reflect the DNA traits of an Oregon Duck: connection, growth, toughness, and sacrifice. Enjoy tonight. Enjoy this moment. It is yours, man. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.